and welcome back to the Web Piano Teacher Artist Series podcast for possibly the song you've all been waiting for and the song we've been dreading.
Yeah.
So we've made it to, in our Billy Joel the Stranger series, to track number 4, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant.
Okay, so we're going to
Epic.
so we do the first part, talk about it, right?
Yes. Sean decided to break it up,
This
which is totally fine.
Yeah, like chapters in a book. So here we go. Bottle of white, bottle of red, perhaps a bottle of rosé instead. We'll get a table near the street in our old familiar place, you and I, face to face. Bottle of red, a bottle of white. It all depends upon your appetite. Meet you anytime you want in our Italian restaurant. We'll do that part.
Okay.
There we go.
Good
so
job.
I'm breaking it up because one thing, it's easier to not have to perform.
Definitely.
This is like, when I was back in, at North Texas having to do, performances, and I'd have like this long series of things to do. And there's no way you can really practice all of it really good every day. You can only work on some of it because it's so long. So it kind of reminded me of that, because this song has so many parts and pieces in it that you can't just sit down and brush up on it in 5 or 10 minutes.
Do you think being the creator of the song makes that easier for him to do it? Or do you think it's also challenging for him?
Oh, no, I think after you do it so much, yeah, it's going to be in you. But I haven't ever performed this, so I was trying to get this together. I mean, it's in my head, but that's not the same thing as playing and performing it. And I think if I'd done it, repeatedly, and like you said, after creating it, it's in you, so you're going to get it back pretty quick. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be that kind of a process. But if you're just learning it, and you're going to perform it, you can't just spend a couple of minutes on it, like I usually do, and then come perform it. So it's long, lots of parts to this.
Yeah, I mean, we come in at it's 7.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I love this song because Billy Joel had said came up with this song. He had kind of written it back after he had, in the early 70s, after he had kind of had his little breakdown and was trying to get his life back together. And he was living in Oyster Bay. And in fact, the lyric, it is now, things are okay with me these days. It was, things are okay in Oyster Bay.
Okay.
So then when he started kind of crafting the entire song, he switched it.
Yeah.
Probably good. Anyway, but he had kind of these like bits and pieces of songs, nothing complete, and just kind of decided he wanted this like very like symphonic piece. And he was so inspired by the B-side of Abbey Road.
Okay.
That it's all those like little short songs. I mean, some of them are like a minute long.
Yeah. So he didn't create this as the idea with it all being as one. They existed separately before he put them together.
Not from the beginning. Yeah. He kind of had these like song fragment things that he, had in his mind or had written out. And then was like, okay, the B-side of Abbey Road is such a like cool creation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How you just play one song, kind of goes into the next, and it's just sort of this little parts of a whole.
Yeah.
And so I think he was inspired by that and thought, maybe I can kind of work that out here. Of course, Billy Joel style is he's going to tell a complete story.
Oh, yeah.
It's not these like little snippets. Like, I feel like when I listen to the B-side of Abbey Road, it's like somebody walking through a neighborhood and like looking into each individual house. Like, here's what's going on in this house. Here's what's going on with this person I pass on the street. And they're like,
yeah, this is like in classical music, you'd call program music, where, you know, some people just write music for the sake of the music, but program music has a program. It has more going on than just the music. There's a story to it when you have program music. It reminds me of, the pictures of an exhibition by Mogorsky, where you're walking between, this is a classical piece, so nobody's going to know this, but there's that main part where the person is walking between the looking at the pieces of art. And that part always comes back. So it's program music. It's these different famous pieces of art. So that's, there's a program going on top of it. And you can listen to the music and never know that was part of it. But I feel like this is kind of a story, a program, if you will.
Tell me the name of that piece again.
Mussorgsky's Pictures at an Exhibition. Pictures at an Exhibition, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe our listeners are like me. Like, I'm going to look that up now.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to put the pieces of art in front of me, and I'm going to get the whole immersive experience.
Yeah, so the promenade was the walking between the pictures. So I feel like this part is a transition as you're moving into the next. Saxophone.
My favorite.
Yeah. Major seventh chords. So, but that's a section, what I just played.
Yeah.
It's the transition.
Yeah.
So, he's in the restaurant, comes down, and we all have our favorite restaurant.
And he was inspired by an actual restaurant. He said he was doing a show at Carnegie Hall, and there was an actual Italian restaurant across the street.
Yeah.
And they had all these posters up with his picture on it for the, advertising the show that he was about to do. Okay. And all these people were lined up to get into Carnegie Hall.
Okay.
And then Billy Joel and like some of the crew and some of the band like went into that Italian restaurant. Okay. And the guy was like, "Hey, it's the guy on the posters."
Yeah. Hey, there's Billy Joel.
And so I don't know that he was like that famous yet.
Okay.
They just knew, that's
still, if you're lining up to see this guy, that's pretty cool that he goes in the restaurant.
Yeah. And they gave him the best seat of the house, and then he always had the best seat in the house at that place. So that really was his Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of a cool story.
But we talk about, him painting a picture with music and the words. And we all have our favorite, I hope we do, have our old favorite restaurant that we like to go to with memories, whatever.
Yeah.
And, just the, whatever that accordion or whatever that is that comes in and plays with him, just has that real homey feel. And it just makes you think of, a lot of our good memories are eating over some good food,
Oh, of course.
And so that I really identify with that because we have a restaurant we like to go to here.
We have a lot of restaurants we like to go
but
to.
There's one specifically that we like, that's an Italian restaurant that we enjoy. Yeah.
He went to see a play, Leonard Bernstein, West Side Story, and he saw him, Leonard Bernstein.
Oh.
Saw Billy Joel, and of course Billy Joel knows the classic, Broadway music and stuff, and was like, "Billy Joel, I love this song that you have, and I love this song that you have."
Uh-huh.
And it just really
what a compliment.
Struck really Billy Joel, and he said that he's had a handful of moments like this in his life. When suddenly it hits him that these monumental musical figures, people like Sinatra, Brian Wilson, Stevie Wonder, Tony Bennett, Paul McCartney, Leonard Bernstein actually know his music.
Yeah.
And so he said when the criticism comes, he remembers those moments like, okay, yeah, but Leonard Bernstein said he
That's
loves
a big
my
one right
songs.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. And he said that it was something that the musical world needed.
Yeah.
Was songs like this. And I think that's true because it makes you, I mean, there's so much music I hear now that is just trash.
Yeah.
Because
for sure.
it's just background. It doesn't like cause you to have memories. It doesn't stoke the fire of your imagination at all.
No.
And this song,
and I've noticed, the young people that are, getting into it, it's kind of like just getting a hit on something. All right, now what's the next thing? And then they, on to the next piece of music, on to the next, there's no lasting enjoyment of, of a song.
and this song to me paints a picture. It's like you can close your eyes and I can see like a whole musical going on in my head. I can see, like for you, that transition. To me, I'm like, okay, I kind of picture this like, first there's this guy just reminiscing at the piano, and then he has this like dream sequence where he goes back in time, and now he's going to reminisce.
Sure. And I like how he jumps into the reminiscing, I'm kind of like, oh, I see somebody I know. Don't look, But he jumps into it and wants to catch up and do all that. And that is fun when you meet someone and you start to catch up with old high school memories and everything.
All right, why don't you go into what's the next part? You ready for it?
Yes. Hold on. Okay, where am I at? Okay, so we just did so that's getting us up to speed.
Yeah.
Catching up. Oh, things are okay with me these days. I got a good job. I got a good office. I got a new wife. I got a new life, and the family is fine. Oh, we lost touch long ago. You lost weight. I did not know you could ever look so nice after so much time. Do you remember those days hanging out at the Village Green? Oh, engineer boots, leather jackets, and tight blue jeans. Drop a dime in the box, play a song about New Orleans. Cold beer, hot lights, my sweet romantic teenage night.
I love it. It is. Yeah. You can see the whole scene playing out in your mind. And I think it's hilarious now as a more middle-aged person that he threw into the conversation about like, oh, you lost weight. Because aren't we all like...
But I just noticed this is what you usually do when you meet someone you remember as you talk about what's going on right there. Oh, we're doing fine. We're doing this and that. Yeah. And then you go back to the reminiscing.
And he got a new wife.
Yeah. Oh,
if you
never caught that. Okay. Got a new wife. Okay.
I got a good job. I got a good office. I got a new wife. I got a new life.
Yeah. Well, to a man, that's kind of what you think, wife check, family check, job check. Yeah. So, right. And then the Village Green, the hangout.
Yeah.
The hangout. And, gosh, the stuff you could pick any decade and, the hangout. What are kids wearing? It's all going to be kind of funny, I think. Like, I mean, look what they're wearing. Engineer boots, leather jackets, tight blue jeans. What were y'all wearing in the...
I was wearing the clothes that the young people are wearing now.
Okay.
I told our oldest son, who's 18, when he was in high school, I was like, not trying to dress like a high schooler. I've been dressing the same since I've been in high school.
Yeah.
Things haven't changed. But he was like, Mom, you cannot wear that. And I'm like, yes, I can. I own this flannel tied around my waist with my baggy jeans. This is my style. So you just tell people they can stop wearing it if they don't like it.
I kind of split the 80s and 90s. So part of the 80s was the parachute pants and leather jacket, slick back hair,
Yeah.
with all the gel. Yeah. And then we had the penny loafers with no socks. And you'd have the jeans, or you'd fold them up, that and whatever shirt.
Tight roll.
Yeah.
I kind of finished high school with the grunge. Well, I probably held on to it too long, but people will start to notice once I get on something and I like it, this is good for me.
Ooh, acid washed. Had some of those. I had acid washed pants, shirt, and jacket.
Too far.
I know. All right.
Also the same.
Yeah. So reminiscing, and the music has the excitement of that when you start reminiscing.
You mean when you start gossiping and talking about people?
Where you can't can't wait to say what you're going to say. Da, 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 da. Oh. Yeah.
He said he always thought it would be kind of fun to write a song where you like explore the eternal question of what happened to the like quote unquote anointed people in high school. And it's like, I'm sure everybody who just heard that, there are two people that popped into your head or like, the group or whatever. And were you in the group?
Was I in the group of what?
Anointed people. The popular.
The popular couple? No.
Not couple, but just like.
I had my circles, yeah. I was kind of weird because I was really good at music and stuff and art. So people kind of thought that was cool, So I could be in the cool group if I wanted, but I was also in the nerd group. That was my kind of where I chose to be, but I could kind of be in both.
Your friends
which
are
is
like,
weird.
We were the nerd group? What? Nobody listens, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, so he wanted to explore the idea of what happened. Like, he wanted to make up this story. This obviously sounds like somebody who wasn't a part of that group.
Yeah.
Finishing out the rest of these people's life, because it doesn't sound awesome.
No.
I mean, but anyway, I thought that was kind of funny because we all think that way.
Yeah.
I think. And originally the song was titled The Ballad of Brenda and Eddie.
Okay.
Which I'm glad he didn't keep that because, I mean, he had The Ballad of Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
You can't have two songs, The Ballad of.
But Scenes from an Italian Restaurant sounds like program music to me. Sounds like what he intended for it.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
But maybe the section that he had been working on, because he kind of had like these song fragments. Yeah. So this song fragment that he had exploring this whole idea about what happened to these people was Ballad of Brenda and Eddie.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, so catching up, meeting somebody, and the excitement of the energy of it. So we're going to get into their story here, I guess.
Yeah, the gossipy part.
Yeah, so you catch up, and now we're getting to the gossip. But before that, we have interesting that this had to be the 50s he was thinking about.
Because I do
50s or
get
60s.
Happy Day scenes.
Yeah, but the music that he gets in the jukebox is New Orleans blues, because the stuff in the jukebox is always 10 years behind.
Yeah.
Oh, you realize that?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was I would go put it, because they had jukeboxes still when I was.
They did when I was
go in,
still.
and they would be, it'd always be a couple of decades earlier. So anyway, New Orleans. So we have. Big band. Build up. And then to me, this is a different part. Even here, the next part. But New Orleans man.
If you're wondering what kind of saxophone I like, it's that one.
Yeah? It's a clarinet, not a saxophone.
No, there's a little bit.
Oh, is there?
I think. Anyway, I really like that part.
Yeah. Well, that's
and again, it's him painting the picture of like, he could have just said, you drop a dime in the box and play a song about New Orleans and then continue on.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He wanted to make sure he solidified in your mind where he was headed with the story.
Yeah. So to me, even this little part is another scene.
Yeah.
The music of it and getting into that mood of the. And if you start at the beginning of the song and go, okay, this is how it starts, but then I have this part that goes, what? How are you going to work? How are you going to do that? Well, the story brings you from one thing to the next. It's just like, in your mind, you go from one thing and you're not trying to go there. It just leads to the next thing.
I mean, we've had this conversation because we've had to prepare for this.
Yeah.
But it's exciting every time I talk about it. You know what I mean? It's exciting to me that he did that. And that people who aren't necessarily engaged in like Broadway musicals or classical pieces are engaged in this song now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's relevant today. I mean, so much.
All right.
So now we have the Let's see if I can do this because I worked on this, but it's been a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
There we go. I did
Did it. Very good. I thought you were going to keep going, though.
I am, but I want to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
That little part.
Okay.
Yeah, so just a little piano ditty right in there. And country third. It's in there all over the place. Country third open fifths that, that they all used. It's just a little fun piano thing he puts in there that's fun for piano players. We get scrolling up here.
Do you, off the top of your head, know what album Ballad of Billy the Kid is on?
No, not what album. I know the song.
Do you know if it was before or after this one?
I have no idea.
Darn, I'm gonna look it up while you perform.
No. Yeah, I need that. That's one thing I've never done.
Because that little section, I wonder if he had already written Ballad of Billy the Kid. Was he like, I got this cool thing? It didn't work in that song, but I'm gonna work it. Oh yeah, I'll pull it out of the bag here. Or if writing this little thing, 100%, I think Ballad of Billy the Kid was first.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure. But
yeah, and that's another cool one that I hope we get to do.
It reminds me of that
one day.
song. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing real quick about that one.
Okay.
That part that goes da 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 da. I thought for sure that was something out of Aaron Copland had written, or Bernstein, or one of the American composers. I just knew it. And it wasn't. He wrote that. That's his creation. I thought he had taken.
I mean, can we just say Billy Joel's an American composer?
Yeah. Well, sure. But I mean, I thought it was one of those giants. You know? But it's Billy Joel giant. All right. So what are we on? You can help me with this one if you want. Brenda and Eddie were still going. Oh, wrong place. Brenda and Eddie were the popular steadies and the king and the queen of the prom. Riding around with the car top down and the radio on. Nobody looked any finer. Always more of a hit at the Parkway Diner. We never knew we could want more than that out of life. Surely Brenda and Eddie would always know how to survive. Oh, 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 oh. Brenda and Eddie were still going steady in the summer of '75. When they decided the marriage would be at the end of July. Everyone said they were crazy. Brenda, you know that you're much too lazy. Eddie could never afford to live that kind of life. Oh, but there we were, waving Brenda and Eddie goodbye. Oh, oh, oh. Well, they got an apartment with deep pine carpets and a couple of paintings from Sears. A big water bed that they bought with the bread and they saved for a couple of years. They started a fight when the money got tight. Didn't count on the tears. Whoa, whoa, let's rock and roll. That's the next part. Good, that helped me. That's hard to play and sing that rhythmically.
Yeah.
You have this accents on it because you're essentially going left, right, da, 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 but you can't go.
Yeah.
You gotta. And we talked about how important those things were.
Okay, the dun dun.
Yeah.
One time I was listening to this in the car with my 16-year-old son driving with me. And I had to say, hey, I have to listen to this song because Dad and I need to learn it. So I'm going to listen to it at least once while we're here. Yeah. And you think he's not even paying attention. I didn't know that he even knew the song or how well he knows it. But we're riding around listening to this. We get to that part, and both of us at the same time lift our hand and go, dun, dun.
Yeah.
We looked at each other. I mean, it was just like this. We had choreographed it.
That's
but
funny.
I just thought, I want to do that every time I hear the song.
Mm-hmm.
I want to like lean into those accents.
Yeah, to me, those little things are just as important as the rest of it. You know, like let's pick them out. Yeah. So
I would come back to if I didn't like the whole song, I would come back to listening to the song just to like get to participate in that part.
yeah, they're so important rhythmically driving it, and it's one of those little gems that really, and you don't notice it unless you stop and go, hey, that's I always do that. That part is so fun to
I
play
don't
air
know
drums
if I
with.
would have noticed I'd done it unless he also had done it at
Yeah.
the same time as me. And then I literally felt like it pulled him out of some stupor. I mean, if you've ridden with your 16-year-old son in the car listening to the music that he does not want to listen to,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden that part woke him up, you know? Like, I thought, but both of us thought that was pretty cool.
I'm really impressed rhythmically on the piano, because the piano's driving this section, and he's doing it. He's doing everything. I mean, there's complicated rhythms in the hand, and he octaves. Like if I go, so he's switching octaves too, but the piano is so well done there on the accompaniment.
You always have said in the past that Elton John is a really rhythmic player, that's one of his signature things.
In a different way.
I was going to say, how would you compare this like rhythmically driven section to...
He's more symphonic. You can take Elton John stuff that he plays on the piano, and it really won't translate to an orchestra so much. It's piano world. But Billy Joel, you can take it and you could orchestrate it.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's what we always say about Beethoven sonatas. When you play a Beethoven sonata, you know, a good teacher, good instructor will say, think of it symphonically, because Beethoven always had the symphony in his mind, even when you do piano sonatas. That's why they have symphonic arrangement of Beethoven sonatas, because they translate. Chopin, you can't do that. It doesn't.
Okay,
doesn't
so
translate.
I don't have a complete understanding of symphonic.
Okay, well,
thinking.
something that is like, if I go, that's something that's not going to translate on piano well. But if I go,
okay,
right.
yeah, I can hear the like the trombone, the brass, the like.
Right, but all this, bum, bum, you can hear the orchestra coming, bum, bum.
Yeah,
it's
a bow strike on the.
Yeah, it's not because piano can do these things that other instruments can't, and so you call that pianistic.
Okay.
Because it doesn't translate to other instruments. But Billy Joel's is always orchestral. It seems like you can take it, like other songs that we talk about. You're going to see that we can, like we won't do it right now, but the Vienna song, a Viennese waltz, immediately it can just fit in that. So anyway, and the Ballad of Billy Joel, Billy the Kid, we were just talking about it.
Yeah, the lyrics on this section. I mean, you see this couple, you know them, you went to high school with them.
Okay, and but also yourself, when you move in and you have no money.
Yes.
And you buy a couple of paintings from Sears, or...
I wonder if kids these days, am I old enough to say kids these days? Know what Sears is. You know, the Sears is like not a thing anymore.
But that's where you went, in the Sears catalog.
Right.
Are you old enough for that to be the thing everyone got? The Sears catalog.
We got
Everyone
the Sears catalog and the JCPenney catalog. The JCPenney catalog was like hardbound.
Yeah. The JC. I remember that one. And if you didn't get it, you'd sit there and look at it at the store. They'd have it.
Yeah.
On a.
Yeah, like you couldn't like walk
you
away
couldn't
with
take
it.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sears catalog. It had just everything. It was like Amazon.
You could look at the Sears catalog while they had it on the little chain thing while your car was getting its tires changed.
Yeah. And you could order anything, and you could get anything in 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. So it was kind of like the Amazon Prime back then. But
they bought their
waterbed.
And I used to think if I got something from Sears, we were living high class.
Yeah.
because Sears in the
and
Waco
Roebuck.
Richland Mall had an escalator. So if you got something from a store with an escalator, oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I also thought if you had a privacy fence, it was the height of wealth. So my comparison is
Okay.
anyway. But I also sincerely love the line, Brenda, you know that you're much too lazy, and Eddie could never afford
Yeah.
to live that kind of life.
Uh-huh.
But like also true.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh. Have these plans.
it's that you don't understand the reality of the life you're setting out to try to live. You know what I mean? Like,
True. True. So we know the couple, and we also.
And I love that. Oh, but there we were, waving Brenda
Yeah.
and Eddie goodbye.
Uh-huh. The anointed couple. I knew a couple of those in school, but they're still together, so that's cool.
I'd have to think.
You would know them. We'll talk about them later.
I know them.
Huh? Well, you might. I don't know. I don't know if you would.
But yeah, they got an apartment. Which
Wait,
I
where
had
are
to
we at?
look up what deep. I mean, I know what deep pile carpets were, but I could never understand what he was saying in the lyric.
Yeah.
Caroline asked me what deep pile carpets were.
Oh, yeah. You know what they are, right?
Shag.
Oh, yeah. And so we had, in my old house, in the 70s and 80s, we had, I mean, it was like, yeah, fur.
Gross.
It was orange and yellow.
Like
Yeah.
our rug
It was orange and yellow. Yeah.
here on set.
So we're at the rock and roll part.
Yep.
So let's rock and roll. So here we have yet another. Saxophone. Here we go. Well, we lived for a while with a very nice style, but it's always the same in the end. You got a divorce as a matter of course, and they call it the closest of friends. The king and the queen went back to the queen, but you can never go back there again. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Brenda and Eddie had it all ready by the summer of 75. From the height of the low to the end of the show for the rest of the line. Can't go back to the greasers. Best they could do was pick up their pieces. We always knew they would both find a way to get by. Oh, and that's all I heard about Brenda and Eddie. Can't tell you more cause I told you already. And here we are waving Brenda and Eddie goodbye. Oh, 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 one more time. Oh, 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 and then transition. There we are. So rock and roll, what do you think of that?
I think it's cool. What do I think about it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I think he just wanted to, he loves playing rock and roll piano. I think he just wanted to put it in there right there. Just let the rock and roll, just another little scene to me.
Yeah.
Because it's not part of the Brenda and Eddie story. It's just a rock and roll piano, kind of like this. So you take those moments to play the piano like you want to. So to me, that's an artist, just putting, and it fits.
Yeah.
It goes right into it.
Well, and he had the flowy style at the beginning. He had the New Orleans. He got to do like the New Orleans, the bluesy style. Yeah. So if you've already gone that far to tie those two together, why not try one more? Yeah.
So, and then you have this. To me, here's where it's orchestral. He needs to get back. To the restaurant because
he's got to open and close the same door.
It's a circle. The artists, they always come back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And you go back to the exposition. So as you're returning to that, he does, a very Beethoven-y thing. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And I hear it. Back to the... with the orchestra in it. And there is orchestra in it. But like a piano concerto. But you have the... and that's, to me, very, Beethoven-y thing to do. To get back to that, because he needs to not only get back to the style of the restaurant, but he needs to get back to the key of F.
Yeah.
Because we're in the key of G.
Yeah.
And going to F is a half step down, which is a weird transposition. So he just uses a scale, which is, Beethoven would do that. Something, how did he get there that quickly, that easily? But there he does it. So we're back. Big this time, though.
Yeah.
Bottle of red, bottle of white. Whatever kind of mood you're in tonight, meet you anytime you want in our Italian restaurant. And we'll do the ending part in the middle. So that's a place where he could have ended. Your restaurant. But he doesn't. What do you think about that?
Well, I usually end it at that point. I'm like, all right, we can go to the next song now. Because he brings in that saxophone.
Yeah, maybe it's just the continuing story. It's
I think it does feel a little bit like if I'm thinking about a Broadway show or something, like the smoke on this stage. You're like leaving the dream sequence. You're leaving the like nostalgic point of the conversation. Now you're just going back to regular life,
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know if he's getting that deep on this, but if he is, then to me that's what it is, because it's the first time it served the purpose of transitioning into the reminiscing and all the things that were in the body of this program music. And now this to me is a transition into to whatever's next in life, maybe.
Yeah.
So and again, I don't know if he's getting that deep, but maybe for us it can mean that.
Well, I like him ending the part where he's singing. I like it going back.
Yeah.
To the beginning.
Oh yeah, me too.
I love
Definitely.
it.
Oh yeah, you've got to have that.
The section right after that, I don't need that part.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, where I feel like that may be the walk, the promenade of whatever's next in life. So, but I feel like he could have ended it there. Italian restaurant, and then in a. So if you had, meet you anytime you want in our Italian restaurant. So
if he was
that
here,
was an option.
If he was here, I would not be bold enough to ask, because I'm not going to ask.
Yeah.
But I would want to ask why that little section after that. Like if his response is, I don't know, I just liked it, I'd be like,
okay,
cool. I mean, I really would like, that would be fine with me. I wouldn't argue with him. But don't you think you should have just, no. But I am curious, like, did he just want to do it? Or would he be like, oh, after, in hindsight, I maybe would have cut it.
To me, I don't. It doesn't bother me, but I just wonder why it didn't end there because it still has always kind of felt to me like it could have ended there with some sort of ending. So.
And I think even in his live shows, he loves to highlight his musicians that are on stage with him. And so he leaves it in too, just so that saxophone guy can have one more. But I'm still just a little curious, like, why?
Yeah. I think too, we think, Billy Joel was thinking about all these things. He wanted, when you have someone who's a genius artist, these things just kind of fall into place.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm going to return to the beginning. Yeah. I'm going to have a it just, that's how it comes together. The mind, there's something else at work. It's just the creativity of that talent he's given is at work, even above and beyond what he's thinking about doing. If that makes any sense. So
I didn't like look at YouTube because I didn't think about it. If there's a lot of people on YouTube out there covering this song, start to finish.
Yeah, quite a task.
I should have looked it up.
Yeah,
because tough.
It is. It's hard to sing and play to pull it off without a band. If you're having to cover all the piano parts, the rhythmic and stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, it's so long. But yeah, it's like this one has taken me the most time. Several days I've been looking at it for half an hour at a time, get it together. But that's part of what made it difficult is there were so many parts and pieces that there's not enough time to really hit every part unless you took the whole entire day to work on it.
Yeah.
So should we finish out the? No, you got to. And then
hearing it just piano, I like it more, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so for listeners out there, treat yourself and go listen to this song. Headphones on, start to finish, and just I listen to it driving around in my car because I have to, but the times I've enjoyed it most is when we've intentionally sat down to listen.
Yeah.
And ask myself what picture, how am I actually seeing this? And just let your imagination light up.
Where the music becomes the focus, not the background.
Right.
That really makes a difference.
So why don't you close it out with playing your favorite section? What's your favorite section?
My favorite section.
Have you thought about it?
I
think I could guess your favorite.
What?
The part that he put in that's just the Ballad of Billy the Kid part.
Oh, that part that's fun to play?
It's just the piano.
It is. Part. Then I play it for a while, and then I want to play another part. Yeah. So.
That's your favorite? Yeah.